Hi, this is Katrina Kramlich from Inspired Spectrums, and in this video we're going to be talking about fishing for connection and helping your child to play. So, when your student is connected, it's time to play. Maybe you just walked into the room and you're going to play, or perhaps you were just joining and then you got a green light and now you're going to try out a game idea. So I encourage you to spend a little bit of your time away from the playroom, when you're away from the playroom, brainstorming some game ideas. Think about all the things that you know that your student is motivated by, and just try to think of several different games that you can play while you're in the playroom. And that's going to help you out so you don't have to feel so put on the spot when you're making up games. But that being said, a lot of the really great games that your student is going to engage in the most is going to come out of his current motivation, whatever's happening right then. So you do want to practice your creativity and just keep practicing and exploring new things that you can make up from what you can do right then in the moment, okay? This really does take practice. Not everybody's going to be able to walk in and feel really confident making up a whole bunch of new games, and that's totally okay. You know, give yourself a break, just have fun with it. The key to creating a game with a student that is going to be fun is you having fun. So if you're worried about it being the right, perfect game that you're going to play, you're not going to have much fun, right? So just go with the idea. Nobody's going to judge you on it, and just whatever happens in your brain, just go with it. Just go with that idea, and you can keep adding on to it and adding on to it and adding on to it. So when you go in the playroom and you get a green light, just try to make a game happen. You know, physical games can oftentimes be the best games because kids really like the physical aspect of it, whether it be bouncing, tickling, chase, piggyback rides, rolling them up in a blanket. All of those things take care of sensory needs as well as be exciting, so they can be really easy games that you might want to play. Other games that a lot of kids love are blowing up balloons, playing bubbles, then there's the imagination games, doing a tea party, all sorts of, pretty much anything you can think of can be turned into a game. It's really not needing to be complex. It doesn't need to be overly simple either. It can be whatever happens in the moment. You're going to have an infinite amount of times to play with your student. So the big thing is just try something. When you have a green light, try a game. Try to play with them. And then as you're playing, also remember that they have processing delays. So a lot of times you're going to want to keep it simple and keep it to yourself. Keep doing it yourself until they have enough time to really process what's happening. So for example, if you want to do tickles, maybe I'm coming in to tickle myself, or I could tickle a puppet or a stuffed animal. Do the game long enough that your student has the ability to process it and decide whether or not they want to play. If they're still looking or giving you some sort of indication that they're still paying attention to you, keep the game going, and we're going to talk about what to do once they get really excited in the next video. But this one is really just about playing, about the idea. When I say game, it really just means any interaction. So physical game, probably not a board game. Actually you have to be pretty advanced socially to be able to play a board game. So we're really talking about using puppets, eating food, tickles, squeezes, massage. Most kids actually, like I said, really like that physical stuff, and it's really helpful. So incorporating a lot of squeezes throughout the day is really fantastic. Singing, music of any regard can be really fun. Try to think of some more go-to games, little like bowling games, throwing the ball, reading a book, but that sometimes goes exclusive. But anything you want to try. And then also, one of the great things about joining is that you are really finding out what your student is really interested in. Perhaps it's dropping something over and over again. Perhaps it's lining up cars. So you have the opportunity to actually create a game that they are already enjoying. So if you already know that they like lining up cars, maybe you could have, with not the cars that they've lined up, but maybe at your own car, you could have maybe a car wash. If they are already enjoying jumping, maybe you could just do a bouncing game. If they're spinning in circles, maybe you can spin them. Try to do whatever it is that they're looking for. You create a game out of that, so then it's a two-way street. Also, it is easier if there is like sort of a natural back and forth between games, because that's going to make it easier for you to eventually work on goals. So if you are playing the tickle game, do tickle, 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 and then move away so that you have time to request. It's nice to have sort of that circular thing about it. When you are playing a game, like I said, the more fun you're having, the more fun your child is going to have. So you really want to try to be in the playroom. You want to be excited, have a lot of enthusiasm. They call it the 3 E's: energy, excitement, enthusiasm, when you're playing. Because the more excited you are, the more likely your child is going to pay attention to you. Just like the TV. They like cartoons because they're big, they're animated, they're slapstick. So incorporate all of that into your play. The crazier, the better, And it does, again, it's going to take some getting used to, because we're all so serious, and, when we're playing with kids, we're the adults and they're the kids. But here in the playroom is your opportunity to be a kid again. Have fun, be crazy, be silly. Also, use your body in a lot of fun ways. I like to say that, when I'm in the playroom that day, I don't have to go to the gym, because I'm going to work hard, I'm going to jump hard, I'm going to run fast, I'm going to be excited. So doubly affecting, it's going to help my student pay attention, but it's also going to help me not have to go to the gym that day, so work hard and have fun. Yeah. Be careful not to ask a lot of questions. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Would you like this? Whatever. Because they're not really going to respond, and you're not really expecting them to respond. So it sort of is a way to short circuit the interaction. Also, if they do respond, it gives them a chance to say no. Instead of asking questions, just offer it to them. Instead of saying, do you want this bottle? You could say, oh, I got an idea. Why don't we juggle? Just make something happen out of it, and you can narrate if you feel like you want to talk. But keeping it simpler is easier for them to process anyway. So try to not ask so many questions, but really just have fun. Just try. I like to think of this as fishing, because basically what you're doing is you're throwing out a game idea. You're casting your bait to the game idea, and sometimes your student might take it and they might really like the game, and sometimes they're just going to go back to it being exclusive, and then you're going to join and try again and throw out another line and see if they like something different. Although, it doesn't always have to be different. Sometimes your student might need to see things several times before they really understand what's happening. So feel free to play the same game idea too. You can use the same bait over and over again. But just make sure you do it when your child is wanting the interaction, not when you're pushing it on them. Okay, so wait for those green lights and then have fun. And then in our next video, we'll talk about once your child is playing and really enjoying it, and you've been playing it for a while and they're excited about this idea, then you can work on some of the social goals, and we'll talk about that next.